All right. It is 8:05, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I do have the question and answer portion turned on, so you can go ahead and submit questions there. So, hello and happy Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend and you're looking forward to a great week. So, I want to start off first by mentioning that I posted this for everyone to see and hopefully contemplate and reply to. But I think that since Christmas is a little over a week away, I think it's 10 days, that it's a great time for everyone to think about their plan for the upcoming holiday season. Most people generally end up, most people, I mean, in general, end up gaining 5 to 10, 15 pounds over the holiday season. And then they become one of those people that's a New Year's resolutionist and they crowd in the gyms. They make all these drastic plans to drop the holiday weight and then some. That doesn't have to be you if you plan ahead. You could still enjoy your social events, but then you should immediately return to your good habits when you're not at a social event. There's no need to undo all of your hard work simply because it's what most other people are doing. So I'd ask that everyone please try to think ahead a little bit, and if you're comfortable doing so, please share and post what your plan is. I used to be one of those people. I would pretend like because I was on Christmas break from work, from Christmas Eve till after the New Year's, that calories didn't count, and I would do things like purposely go and buy ice cream and then put peanut butter on top of the ice cream, and I would, again, act like the calories didn't matter and I could just eat it and whatever. I just undo it next year when I did my New Year's resolution and would take all that weight off. But that's not the best way to approach things, and you basically spend so much time undoing all the damage you do by just binging over a Christmas break. So for me this year, what I'm going to do, and that's what I normally do, is on days when I have a party or a social event or something similar, I'm going to skip breakfast, have a high protein lunch with veggies, and then I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to stress about it, and I'll be able to move on guilt free. On days when I don't have something going on, I'm just going to do what I normally do every day. Christmas is going to be an exception. I'm going to enjoy myself the entire day. So all bets are off. It means cinnamon buns for breakfast with cookies, etc. Probably copious amounts of wine and ham and all that type of good stuff. But the next day afterwards, it'll just be a return to normal with no guilt involved whatsoever, and it'll barely be a blip on my radar. Just move on past it. So if this assignment is something you're struggling with, please do ask for help. I think that out of any of the skills that helps people maintain their weight loss, this one is key. You're not going to be perfect at it, but every time you have a misstep is an opportunity to learn and get better at it. So, even if you try it and you feel like you messed up, you have something to learn from to go for the next time. So thankfully, as I hope the assignment kind of reveals to you, is that there are plenty of opportunities to practice this skill, as well as to learn what to do differently next time. There's always going to be something coming up, someone's birthday, party at work, all these different opportunities where you can practice this skill and get better and better and better at it. So it is something like you're not just going to be perfect at it the first time you try it. So you're going to fall, you're going to pick yourself up, and you're going to keep moving. But my hope is that you learn from it. All right, so on to the questions. First question comes from Danny, and she asks if I recommend body weight exercises. She mentions that when she has off days from the gym, she wants to stay active and was thinking about exercises that either use body weight or just the barbell or a bar, if that would work, and what I think about that. So that's a great question. First, I want to say I totally understand the feeling of wanting to be active on your non-workout days. For most people, there's a link between exercising and being able to stick to your nutrition goals. So when you're not doing the exercising, people kind of naturally tend to not really pay attention as much to the nutrition goals. But on days they do exercise, they feel more invested in paying attention to their nutrition goals. I'd say please do take some caution and listen to your body when it's telling you it needs to rest. But I don't think there's anything wrong with what I'd call active recovery days. There's two different types of workouts that I think are perfect fits that are not cardio and fit into the notion of active recovery. The first would be the body weight workouts, as you mentioned. I'm a fan of a program called PLP, which is short for push, leg, or lunge, and pull. So what that means is you pick one exercise for push, one for like a leg or a hinge exercise, and one for a pull exercise. I've done this before plenty of times, just kind of and then be done with it, but still feel like I was making a good usage of my time. So I did push-ups, lunges, and pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups, you could do negative pull-ups or something similar to that. So you'd want to see how many of each you can do. The next time you have an active recovery day, you try to go one more rep only and then stop. So if you got 10 on each of those the first time, the next time you have a PLP active recovery day, you would try to do 11 each. So that's it. You stop. You don't try to get 12. You simply just go up one more rep. The idea is that over time, you're slowly building up strength and work capacity and endurance. But because the steps to build that are so small, you're not negatively affecting your recovery. And this kind of is similar to the way we build our habits in that, if you make the increments as small as possible, you don't really notice that you're making progress, but then all of a sudden, all of those add up until be greater than the sum of their parts. So, if you did that for a couple months and you added a rep each day, it's possible that you would greatly increase your strength and your muscular endurance, and you'd see great results. It's very possible. Having done it before, there is going to be a point where you simply cannot do your prescribed reps all in one go. And it's okay to break it up across the day. Meaning if, let's just say you do it for 40 days in a row and you're up to like 50 push-ups. I can't do 50 push-ups in a row yet. So I'd recommend just doing what you can do and then coming back to it later in the day. That's perfectly fine. That's considered acceptable within the program. So the second exercise that fits into the category of active recovery are barbell complexes. A barbell complex is a series of weight lifts that are back-to-back with no rest, where you finish the reps of one lift and then you move on to the next lift. And you progress through the exercises that are kind of related. You rest, and then you do another round. So the barbell really only leaves your hand or touches the floor after all the lifts are completed for one round. An example of this would be, like, say, the following exercises: shoulder press, front squat, bent over row, Romanian deadlift, and then push-ups. So you would start with the bar, no weights on it until you're ready to move up in weight. So let's say shoulder press, you do 10 reps of shoulder press, and then immediately after the 10 reps, you move your arms up to do a front squat, and you do 10 reps of front squat. Then you immediately drop the barbell to a bent over row position. You probably want to start at mid-thigh and pull up to your belly button. You do 10 reps of bent over rows. Leave the bar in your hands and do Romanian deadlifts. If you don't know what that is, it's basically you just hold the barbell against your thighs and stick your butt back as far as you can, and then back up. So then after you hit your 10 reps of Romanian deadlifts, you would drop the bar and do your set of push-ups. So that would complete one circuit or one rep, essentially, or one round. You'd rest 1 to 2 minutes, repeat all of those exercises and reps for another round, rest another 1 to 2 minutes, and then repeat it one more time for a total of 3 rounds. And I think that's a great place to start. Once you can get all of the reps on all of the exercises and all of the rounds, it's only then that you want to add some weight. And it's usually just going to be 5 pounds total if you have 2.5 pound weights. If you fail a rep, you don't need to reset or anything. Just move on to the next exercises. So if you hit 5 presses instead of 10, just move on to the front squats. You just keep going. You don't need to end it just because you finished all of the reps. Once you kind of progress through that, you probably want to change it up a little bit because some of the lifts will start to outpace the others, meaning once you've been lifting for a while, you'll be able to front squat a lot more than you'll be able to do shoulder press, for example. Shoulder press is probably the weakest lift for most people. So there are a couple of different variations you can do. If you start doing the complexes and you need some assistance, let me know. I can work with you and help you kind of progress from where you start. But I think what I went over is a great starting point, and it'll take you pretty far. And it's like cardio without needing to basically just do one thing over and over again. It's pretty intense, pretty fast-paced, won't take you a lot of time, not boring, and you will be pouring sweat by the end of it if you keep your intensity up. So I do highly recommend those, but either that or the body weight stuff is a great way to have an active recovery day. So if you're going to try that, I'd love to hear your feedback, what you think about it, how it worked for you, and we can go from there. All right. Let's see. All right, the next question comes from Jessica, and it's related to motivation. She was asking specifically how to stay motivated when starting out. This actually applies to you, everyone, whether you're starting out or whether you're coming back from a misstep and trying to get back on the horse. So I think this is a question that's relevant to everyone, regardless of where you are in your journey, because it's a good tool to have, because no one's perfect. There are going to be missteps. I have missteps myself. So it's a good kind of tool to have in your tool belt. So for me, I think the best way to stay motivated is to continue to set small, easily reachable goals. You may feel like that's T-ball, and what I mean by T-ball is that that's too easy. Why set up goals that are so close that you're definitely going to get them? So it may help you to have multiple goals that are not scale-oriented, outside of the scale. That could just be something like this week I'm gonna walk 10 miles total this week, or anything really that's related to fitness and or even habit building. Like I'm gonna track in MyFitnessPal for 7 days this week, or even 6 days this week. And once you've done that, do your best. Let's say you only get 5 days this week, you have a baseline to improve upon. So this way you're always reaching towards something that's going to happen soon, and you can look backwards and see how you did in the past and see what you've accomplished. And you can also have something to look forward to as to what your next goal is. So this works for multiple reasons. So you're always moving forward towards something, and you always have what's been behind you kind of propping you up. Achieving your goals forward helps hit the reward center in your brain. So this is combining these mini rewards and mini goals with your new habits. This is going to help you solidify those habits. This is essentially the same logic and reasoning behind toothpaste and brushing your teeth. If anyone's a dentist and I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me, but I'm pretty sure this information is accurate. You don't actually need toothpaste to get your teeth clean. You just need the brush and water and the brushing action. But toothpaste makes your mouth feel clean and tingly. So that is the reward for brushing your teeth, that clean and tingly feeling on your teeth. So when they were coming up with a way as to how to get people to brush their teeth as a habit, that was the reward they came up with, to basically hit that reward center in your brain, that when you brush your teeth, the end result is your mouth feels awesome. So that was able to quickly cement the habit into our entire culture faster than any other method. So that same logic can be applied to any habit formation, because that's how your brain works. As soon as you associate a reward in your brain with a habit that you can repeat, then that habit is going to be a rock solid foundation that you can build upon. So that can really be applied to anything. Aside from that, I think another thing that may help is to write down and be cognizant of your own internal motivation. So why exactly are you doing this? I think that in order for habits to become permanent and for the changes to stick, you first and foremost have to be making those changes for yourself and not for someone else. So I'd say, as an assignment, just something to try, think about your own motivation, write down what motivates you, keep it somewhere handy that you can refer back to it when you need reminded of why you're doing this. It's very possible that as you go through the process, your motivations will change as you change. But it's very important to be aware of why you're doing it and what your motivation is. And I think that will kind of propel you forward. And as long as you have a short-term goal well within reach, you'll be able to hit that, and that will give you some momentum going forward. So those were the questions that I received. Let me check and see if anyone else submitted any. And if not, we can just go from there. I am going to have a hangout next week, again on Monday. So in advance, you can prepare any questions, and you can even ask them in advance of me making the post for next week. You can just say, hey, can you please answer this in the hangout, and I will do that. Let's see, I didn't see any asked. Let me check in the photocracy groups really quick. The laptop balancing on an unlit candle, so it's a little bit higher off the ground. All right. I am not seeing any questions in any of the groups, so I think we'll just go ahead and end it right there. like I said, just to recap a little bit, please try to work on a plan going forward for the holidays, and please feel free to share it if you're comfortable. I'd be more than happy to help you with it. I've kind of given you what my plan is. Um, like I said, for me, I'm trying to track every single day in 2014. Days like Christmas, I would say don't even worry about it. Just enjoy your holiday, enjoy your time with family and friends, have a great holiday, and then just next day, just go back to your habits. Just have fun. You shouldn't be stressed about a holiday. You should enjoy it. It should be guilt free. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great week. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be talking to everyone soon. Take care.